Before this video, please watch the Converus training process presentation, which goes over the basic steps for training on Converus products. This presentation reviews EyeDetect training courses and the certification requirements. There are two standard courses, EyeDetect Test Proctor and EyeDetect Administrator. Then there are three optional advanced courses, MCT, AMCT, and DLC3 test writers. The Test Proctor course covers the basics on using the EyeDetect station equipment to administer a test. This includes preparing the station and examinee for the test and monitoring them during it. The Administrator course goes over how to use the online dashboard to organize, view, and interpret test results. It also includes the management of dashboard users and test license usage. The advanced courses are all for those who wish to write tests that will be administered with just an EyeDetect station. MCT is for multi-issue tests or tests that can have up to 3 relevant topics in a single test. AMCT or audio MCT is for MCT tests that will be needed for those who do not read well. And DLC3 is for single issue tests most commonly used in investigations. We'll briefly mention the certification process for our single other training course, Investigative Interviewer. Investigative Interviewer goes over advanced training techniques in pre- and post-test interviewing. Here are the 5 steps for completing the EyeDetect Test Proctor course. First, there are no prerequisites. The required videos take about 3 hours to watch, and the online test has 55 questions requiring 90% to pass. There are no practical application exercises, and the EyeDetect Standard Workshop will be available if desired. Overall, we estimate it to take between 3 and 4 hours to complete this course. Second is our EyeDetect Administrator course. It has the regular Test Proctor course as a prerequisite. The listed videos take about 2 hours to finish watching. The online test has 60 questions and requires 90% to pass. There are no practical application exercises. If desired, the EyeDetect Standard Workshop is available. Overall, we estimate it to take between 2 and 3 hours to complete this course. Moving on to the first of our EyeDetect Test Writer courses, MCT requires you to first complete the EyeDetect Test Proctor and Administrator training courses and then to have a personal login to the online dashboard where you will be writing the tests. The required videos take about 3 hours to watch, and the online test is 50 questions requiring a 90% to pass. The required practical application is submitting practical exercises for review. The available workshop is MCT Test Writer. This course is likely to take between 5 and 6 hours to finish. Next, the Audio MCT or MCT Test Writer course. The prerequisites are first to complete the MCT Test Writer course and then to have a personal login to your online dashboard. The required video is about 30 minutes, and the online test is 15 questions and requires a 90% to pass. 2 practical exercises must be submitted to be reviewed for the practical applications, and the MCT workshop will be available. This course should take between 2 or 3 hours to complete. Next is the DLC3 course. EyeDetect Test Proctor and Administrator must be completed first, and you will need a dashboard login. The videos take about 3 hours to watch. You need to pass the online test, which is 50 questions, and submit practical exercises for review. You can also choose to attend the DLC Test Writer workshop if needed. In total, this may take between 5 to 6 hours to complete. And finally, Investigative Interviewer. There are no prerequisites. The required video is about 6 hours long. The online test has 85 questions, but you only need 80% to pass. There are no practical application exercises or optional workshops. We estimate between 6 to 7 hours to complete this course. To summarize, the first time you complete any of the courses, you should ensure that prerequisites have been accomplished, watch the videos, and take the test to receive a certificate. For test writers, you should also have a login to the dashboard, and you will need to submit some practical exercises to receive the certificate. All courses except for Investigative Interviewer have an optional workshop available. To renew a certificate for either of the standard or other courses, you need to retake and pass the online quiz. If you don't renew, there is no consequence, but the certificate will be out of date. To renew a test writer course, write tests and submit them for evaluation. If you receive an 80% or greater on the evaluation, the certificate will be renewed. If the certificate expires, access to the EyeDetect Test Manager will be removed. For questions about EyeDetect training, please visit converus.com/videos or email training@converus.com. Thank you.